Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Nathan, aka Portal Viking, and today what we're going to be doing is going to start a brand new series. What we're going to essentially try and do is make English football English again. We're going to make an English super team. So what we're going to try and do is use the editor to get the majority of the players over to our team of choice, which is going to be Man United. But what we are going to do is obviously make the season fair. So if we do take a player, we're obviously going to replace them like for like as best as possible. Perfect example of that, if we took Harry Kane off Tottenham, we then replace it with, I don't know, Martial from Man United. That way, obviously Tottenham aren't losing out majorly, and obviously Man United aren't getting a superstar team that nobody better keep up with. I also do stream on Twitch, guys. I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. So if you do want to watch anything live, head over to there. The link will be in the description below. I also, obviously, any updates, that'll be on Twitter as well. So again, links in the description below, guys. But let's get into the series. This is the team of choice that we went for. The only difference that you're slightly going to be straight away is Rashford probably isn't going to get his game every game. I'm probably going to have Harry Kane in. But as always, Harry Kane's injured. That might be one potential problem moving forward. He might get injured a little bit too often. But either way, we have Rashford as backup or as kind of main, depending on performances and stuff like that. But all in all, that is the team that we're going to go for. As you can see, we have kept quite a few players from Man United. So we've got Wan-Bissaka, we've got Maguire, we've got Lee Grant on the bench there. Whatever that name is, Axel. We've kept Axel. Brandon Williams, Mensah, Phil Jones, Jesse Lingard, all originally from Man United. So we have got a few. But obviously players in are just as many, to be fair. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Maddison, Winks, Rice, Chilwell, Tomori, Pickford, Sancho. I'll show you the transfers in detail though. As you can see, 120 mil difference overall. However, obviously some of those transfers were already on the save, and what I did try and do was try and make some kind of realistic figures up for the players. But then I kind of stopped as well, which is weird. So Harry Kane, 85 million, I thought was quite realistic, bearing in mind he's injury prone. Obviously Harry Maguire was already at the club, but we brought him in for 85 million, and then I believe we give Martial away to Tottenham. However, we give him them for free. So maybe I should have charged him there, but hey ho, we give Martial to Tottenham to kind of replace Kane. That was kind of the plan to do with the majority of players that I took, just so it didn't have too much impact on the save. Other people, Sancho, 90 million, and in return, I give Mason Greenwood. As you can see, Mason Greenwood went to Dortmund. I did charge them ones though, not sure why. Weird that. Mason Greenwood. Who else do we get? Callum Hudson-Odoi, and in return, I didn't really have another right winger. Obviously, I'd just give Greenwood away. So I ended up giving Chelsea quite a few players. I gave him Juan Mata, Matic, and Fred. I thought them three people together kind of equaled what I could take off them. I don't know. We got James Maddison, 50 million. Jack Grealish, 45 million. Declan Rice, 35. And Jordan Pickford for 30 million. Who else do we send away? Sent away some other big players. So we sent Bruno Fernandes back to Sporting for 50 million. We sent Paul Pogba, David De Gea, both to Paris Saint-Germain. Andres Pereira, again, we used the like-for-like swap. So Pereira for Jack Grealish. There we are. So we swapped them two. We sent Alexis Sanchez packing into Milan on permanent. And I think that was about it. The rest of them I give for free away. So that's who's kind of, that came and went. And this is, like I say, that's how the team is now looking. In terms of tactics, I've kind of went really positive, to be honest. 4-2-3-1. Obviously, the wingers cutting inside, causing some damage that way. In terms of how we play, it's kind of your standard setup, really. Controlling the football, controlling possession. Basically, go out wide, get your overlap going, and work the ball in the box. One thing that you don't see too often is low crosses. I found this is the only way to fix, when the winger overlaps and he goes right near the byline, and instead of just squaring it back, he shoots. For some reason, if you have low crosses on, he actually starts pulling it back. It's still not every time, but it definitely does it more often than not. So I've included that as well. Run at defence, just because we have got quite a pacey, skillful team. So hopefully that should cause some issues with that. Obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Maddison, Sancho, potentially Rashford, all running at you. That's quite a scary front four, isn't it? So hopefully they'll cause some damage that way. In transition, gegenpress, so counter press straight away, counter as well, distribute quickly and get it straight to them wings where obviously all our pace is. Standard kind of gegenpress. And then in terms of out of possession, we went, as I say, right up in your face, much higher line of engagement, much higher line of defensive line. I'm using the offside trap just because they have got quite pacey defenders, to be fair. I should be able to get away with that. Preventing short goalkeeper distribution, extremely urgent pressing. Defensive width, I just went narrow. I know it's a little bit annoying when you concede crosses, but weirdly, I found when you think if you were a little bit wider, you'd stop the cross. Doesn't matter. Either way, the cross is going to happen. It just seems whether it comes back and it comes deep, whatever. If you play narrower, it seems that your two central defenders are a little bit closer together and they can kind of block their striker because quite a lot of formations only one striker. And even when there's two, it just seems as though you're more compact in the middle. So I went with a narrow formation. I haven't touched neither of these. You could have an argument for get stuck in because obviously you are much more higher up. You do want to get the ball as much as possible. But I've tried to balance with that the fact that I haven't got a huge squad and I don't want too many people kind of being on red cards and all that kind of stuff. So I've just went with standard, no instructions. You can do what basically each player pleases in terms of that department. Use tighter marking I haven't used just because I think offside trap and tighter marking don't really match up. If you've got one person marking a player who's a little bit further out, he might not be in line. So I don't think them two things marry very well. But yeah, that's the tactics, guys. So then, jumping into the season preview, this is how the bookies are ranking the teams. We're currently 5th most likely to win the league, apparently. I think, to be honest, I think we'll be better than that. I think we'll probably be top 3. Not sure if we'll win it first year. Maybe. But I definitely think we'll do better than 5th. We'll definitely be better than Tottenham. If we're not beating Tottenham, there's something wrong there. But Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea are obviously, I'd maybe say more likely to do better than us, especially the fact that we're limited to English talent. It probably does limit us a little bit, but I reckon the players that we've got, we can definitely come top 3. So that's how the bookies have got us. And this is how the start of the season went. As you can see, friendlies went pretty well. 7-0 battering of Salford, as you'd expect. And we actually did 2 games of the season as well. What I'll do is I'll jump into them live now. I did obviously record them live. However, looking back, the audio was a little bit weird. So what I've decided to do is rather than obviously use the audio, which it isn't great at all, and I didn't obviously want to put it out, we'll jump back into there. We'll kind of watch the goals and kind of what happened in those games. But as you can see, Man City away, 2nd game of the season, we absolutely smashed them. We actually beat them 4-0 away. Before I almost said what happened there, we'll come to it in a second. First of all, let's jump in the Brighton game. So, the Brighton game, as you can see, James Maddison scoring both goals and Davy Proper for Brighton. But we'll have a look at those goals. Yeah, he's that first goal. Rice back to Tomori. Tomori with the ball wide to Maddison, and Maddison with an absolute screamer. Great first goal. Second goal, similar on the right hand side. Wan-Bissaka down the side, and there's that kind of, although it wasn't quite the same as kind of coming all the way to the byline, as you can see, that low cross enabled Maddison, rather than kind of having to hope to win the header, it was just there for him to tap in, and that low cross thing's definitely kind of, I don't think enough people use it. So that was our 2 goals. Maddison's? Brighton's goal happened like this. Very good strike by Davy Proper there, to be fair, make it 2-1, 57th minute. But to be fair, considering it was the first game of the season and we're at home, it wasn't quite as dominant as I would have liked. As you can see from the match stats here, although we did have quite a lot of shots, clear-cut chance-wise, we only made 3 chances the whole game that were kind of clear-cut. And obviously 2 of those were a goal. So we needed 1 more chance out of the other, let's say, 16 shots that we had. So not not crazy good performance, and especially them getting 2-1 at 60-minute mark. I was a little bit nervous, but we ended up turning out a pretty good performance, especially Maddison on a 9 rating there. So cracking effort from him. And as you can see, that right-hand side, Wan-Bissaka and Tomori, nice little combination there. That might be something that we need to look for the rest of the season. I suppose Tomori's probably better than Maguire. Current ability, I'm not too sure, but definitely, obviously, pace-wise and stuff like that, Tomori's definitely the better of the two. And Wan-Bissaka's obviously really good as well. So this right-hand side could be kind of our danger go-to. But that was the first game. Let's hop into the definitely more entertaining 4-0 battering of Man City. Let's jump in that one. I'll tell you what, before we jump in the goals, we'll look at the stats and then we'll look at the goals. So stats-wise, this is how the teams turned out. Man City having slightly more shots than us. Not so accurate. Only 3 out of 13 on target. But as you can see from the clear-cut chances, they made 3 and we only made 2. However, we scored 4. So we've done quite well there with the half chances. Possession-wise, pretty much 50-50, nothing too in between that. Fouls-wise, 19-13. Passes completed. And when we make 3-7-7 to their 4-5-2, you'd probably expect that, Man City being at home. I can deal with that. Tackles won, 89%. 44 tackles for me, though. Only 27 Man City in a whole game. That's probably a bit lower than I'd expect. Headers won. That's a stat I wouldn't have expected. Only 48% of headers won. Especially with Aguero being really small, Sterling really small, Silva small, and Bernardo Silva small. You would have expected that to be a little bit higher, to be honest. That's maybe one to watch. But yeah, that was it. Average rating though, look at that though. The whole of my team performed amazing. As you can see there, only probably Callum Hudson-Odoi at 6.6 wasn't great. Even Sancho 6.8, that's not too bad, is it? If you got an overall rating for the whole season of 6.8, you wouldn't be overly displeased. But look at that, 9.8 from Rashford. What a performance this guy put in. And Winks, Tomori and Maguire, absolutely superb. But yeah, let's jump into the goals of the game. The first one, it was actually their mistake. I was just saying in live commentary, they were just passing it round us. It was almost like my gegenpress wasn't working. I know that's only 20 minutes in, but like previous to that, it was just like ding, 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 dead easy, making space, and although they weren't really doing anything, it was like my players were just chasing thin air. There was no kind of real pressure, but literally, as I said, they're tapping it round us. Marcus Rashford just pinched off his toe, took it round the keeper and banged it in. So that was a good start. Second goal, Wan-Bissaka down the right again, whips it in. Bender had no idea what John Stones was doing there. John Stones had an absolute nightmare in terms of marking. If we just watch that again, his marking is horrendous. Quite similar to real life, to be fair. Where are you going? Rashford is easy left foot finish, back of the net, not a problem. That's 2 for Rashford. 46 minutes in, so just start the second half, I believe. Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side again, and Rashford once again front post. Although it wasn't a low cross that we talked about, Rashford up front post, so even though you've got the low crosses on, it still leaves the option for that, and Rashford with the great header. And once again, Stones nowhere to be seen. We'll look at that one again for the marking. Look at Stones. That should be Rashford and Stones. They should be together. And look at this. Just peels off him. To be fair, Laporte as well. Both of them. He kind of just went just in between the two and then just peeled in front of him. Terrible marking for them two. 3-0. Happy days. Next goal didn't come until right near the end. Mensah with a long throw. By this point, the game was over. It was 3-0. I'd told the team to stop pressing as much and not to try and counter, just to kind of hold position. So the game was already over. It was just kind of icing on the cake and finishing off with Rashford's 4 for the game. So this is how from there, this is how the season looks. 2 games played, obviously 2 wins. Liverpool are on a 9-goal difference already. If we look at how Liverpool had done, I thought straight away, obviously, a 4-0, I'd be I've got to be up there. You'd like to think, wouldn't you? But Liverpool, Jesus, 9 goal difference already. If we look at their schedule, smashed Newcastle away 4-0 and battered Southampton 5-0 at home. So 2 cracking performances from them. And no doubt, as always, Liverpool will be up there come the end of the season. But that's where we're going to end it, guys. We're going to end it on a high note. I think we can try and keep them quite a quick, nippy kind of 2 or 3 games per episode and take the season each day kind of thing. Maybe we get an episode a day or an episode every other day. But that's going to be it, guys. Like I say, I do stream this on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. If you do want to hop over to my Twitch and chill out in there. Any updates as well will be in Twitter. So again, them 2 things will be in the description. But if you did enjoy the video, please show it some love. Drop your comment what you think of the whole Rashford-Kane situation. Do I keep Rashford in the team? Do I bring Kane back in? What do you reckon? But yeah, that's going to be me, guys. Catch you in the next one.